What's up, everyone? So I know that this is like super early in the morning. Good morning, everybody. If you guys don't know who I am, my name is Chance Wilkin, and I am the victim of 8-year on YouTube and social media. And just yesterday, my worst nightmare came true. The one thing that I never thought would ever happen to me. The one thing that I did not want to have happen, happened. My fiance Kira was lured in and drugged more or less a meth ring by a guy named William Glory Hole.
That's a fucking lie, you dumb hooker.
Say it ain't so, Chancey, say it ain't so. Welcome back, my friends, to another Cyrax deep dive episode here. I know it's been a minute since we've done an episode in this series, but I have been keeping up with the Rax man. I did an update video a couple days back. We've been covering a bunch of RTU stuff, but now it's time for us to get back here, taking a microscope, looking at our good boy Cyrax, and it seems like Kira has finally had enough. Seems like Kira had finally said, you know what, I'm out. And it didn't take more than a couple of minutes for good boy Chance to get back up on YouTube, spouting his mouth off and talking about Kira like she is the worst human on earth, like she is lesser than a speck of dust under his boot. I don't think any of us are surprised, though. So, without further ado, let's jump right into the recent Raxxaverse.
And his friends named Music Biz Marty and N-Word Boy. Yesterday morning was the worst morning ever. My story started day before yesterday when this guy named Dominic showed up to the homeless shelter where she was staying, and we got to talking a little bit. You know, everything was going good. And then yesterday morning, my worst fear came true. Everybody went to bed, all that stuff. And then yesterday morning, my worst fears came true. We had gotten her son Callum off to school. Her and Dominic went to the store. She called me on video call for a few minutes. Didn't really say much, but as soon as this Dominic person said, hey, come here, the phone went radio silent from noon yesterday up through today. I would later find out last night she was caught doing meth with this guy.
So as usual here, we're back to classic Cyrax, repeating himself time and time again, saying the same thing in every which way he could possibly think of. Now, we all know Cyrax only knows half of the alphabet and probably has a total of 3 catchphrases. So it's really hard for him to explain things to us here on YouTube. He really doesn't know how to articulate past saying, "You're the stupid bitch," and calling people other vulgar names. If it's not vulgar, he doesn't know how to do it. So since Cyrax has the inability to really tell a story with any real articulation, let me give you the lowdown. Now, allegedly, Cyrax is claiming that William Gloryhole and his cohorts, N-Word Boy and Music Business Martin, are conspiring to get somebody to take away good old Kira. Now, William Gloryhole has been on the hunt. He has been looking to find Kira's exact location. You can find a lot of this via his community page on his William Gloryhole YouTube channel, which did recently pass 10k subscribers, so congratulations to that man over there. That's a big milestone. I'm sure Cyrax is really happy to see that. Apparently, somehow, some way, some man named Dominic comes into play, who sounds like he's some sort of cracky from the street, and he gets in and wiggles his way between Kira and Cyrax. Apparently, he takes Kira off after they drop her son off at school and gets her all hooked up on them meths. To quote Cyrax himself, this is his worst nightmare come to life. Everything was fine, everything was normal. He was being a typical cuckold on FaceTime with his gal. And then, homeboy says, "Hey girl, your meth's ready." And she went running off and did it. And he hasn't talked to her since. It's a nightmare. It's a nightmare. But let's continue to watch this.
And I know who it was that sent him, and that person's name is William Gloryhole.
What?
For the last 8 goddamn years on all social media. And William What I want to know is why is it that you can never leave me alone? What did I ever do to you? Because last time I checked, I didn't do shit to you. I don't deserve what you're doing to me. I don't deserve to lose the woman I love because of you. I deserve happiness. I deserve to be able to live a normal life. But because of you and Marty and N-word boy over there on YouTube, I've not been allowed to live a normal life for the last 8 years. My home is now a fucking prison.
Unrelated, but Cyrax's face genuinely looks like a Halloween mask. Like, not one of those ones you get from Spirit Halloween. No, I'm talking about one of them good ones that you spend a couple bucks on and you get from those people who make them professionally. Cause damn, Cyrax, I'm terrified right now. Genuinely, while I was editing one of these clips, my girlfriend walks by and happens to see just a glimpse of Cyrax's face. And she questions, where'd they get that mask? And I had to unfortunately explain, oh no girl, that ain't no mask. According to good old Chancey here, William Gloryhole has infiltrated the area that good old Kira seems to be living in, the shelters that she's staying in, the areas that she's hanging in. William has infiltrated it with his team, and they have somehow interjected this Dominic character, this dastardly drug-dealing streetwalker, if you will, to take away good old Kira. And Chance isn't gonna have any of that.
I lost the woman that I wanted to spend the rest of my life with because of you, of you not wanting me to be happy. What is so wrong with me wanting to be happy, huh? What is so wrong with me wanting to be happy for what's in my life? I don't understand why you have such a problem with me being happy, especially when I'm not bothering anyone. I'm Chance Wilkin. I don't understand, William. Why can't you just leave me the fuck alone? I don't understand. But because of you, William, I have to make the hardest choice I've ever had to fucking make. William sent the guy there to get her hooked. William sent her there to get her hooked. And now because of William, Kira's at risk of losing her kid. Not that William cares.
It truly is the same old song and dance here with Cyraxx when it comes to taking any sort of accountability for the things that happen to him in his life. He mentioned in the previous clip that his home has become a prison, and that's not the first time he said that in this series. In the early episodes, he was saying that all the time when Music Business Martin was really ramping it up and giving him the heat. Time and time again, no matter what it is or how bad it is, anything that happens to Cyraxx is always going to be William Gloryhole's fault. It's always going to be N-word boy's fault. It's always going to be Musical Business Martin's fault. It's never going to be Chance Wilkin's fault. It's never going to be Cyrax's fault. No. Of course not. Of course not. It truly is the definition of insanity when you see Cyraxx yapping out of his foul little mouth hole saying, I don't understand. What do you want from me, William? Why do you keep bothering me? Why can't you just let me be happy?
Well, believe it or not, dude, it's true. They have been honing in on Kira for a while because they wanted to take her away from me because they don't want me to be happy. If you don't believe me, go look at William Gloryhole's YouTube channel. Go look at all the posts over there on his community page, dude. Go look for yourself. It's all right there. But because of you, William, I am retiring from YouTube entirely. I am retiring from social media and music for the foreseeable future.
Detective determined that was a lie.
Chance, you seem to be truly confused on why William Gloryhole and the trolls wouldn't want Kira to be around you. It's not because they don't want you to be happy, no, not necessarily. It's because we want to keep Kira safe. We want to keep the public safe. We can't allow a goblin to have his fingers, his claws, if you will, all around a poor innocent woman, sucking her dry of all her money, any little bit that she might have, taking all her life force. No, Cyraxx, we can't allow that, and even worse yet, we cannot allow a goblin PDF just like yourself, self-admitted, multiple clips in this video even show that, around anybody who has a child, let alone somebody who's gonna claim that child as their own, even here saying in these clips that you're gonna take him away from Kira. What's wrong with you, brother? That's absolutely deplorable. That's sickening, making my stomach tumble right now. Cyraxx truly is an absolutely fascinating being. You can see how he's twitching all over the place. You could see how he's like a fish out of water. It almost seems like he's uncomfortable just existing. And I guess I would be too if all my teeth were rotting and falling out of my mouth, my skin was diseased and covered in bedbug bites, fresh scabs oozing off the scalp, and I haven't showered probably in 2 to 3 weeks at this point. I could imagine the stench. And if you saw that intro clip, you can even see roaches walking all over his food. I can imagine Kira really truly dodged a bullet here. Crackhead on the street or not, that's probably a cleaner option 10 out of 10 times than going to Cyrax's house.
All I ask, William, of you, this is all I ask, is that you leave me alone. You let me be fucking happy, and you let me live my life in peace. That's all I ask, is to be left alone by you, William. That's all I ask. All I ask is that you leave me alone, and my friends and family alone, and whoever I'm dating with alone. That's all I ask. That is all I ask. Is that really that much to ask for? To be left alone and to live my life in goddamn peace?
Yes, Cyrax, that actually is quite a bit to ask for. You're asking a lot here. You're saying that you want people to leave you alone so you can go and send your willy to underage people. Also, sending pictures of your body unsolicited to people who are not asking for that, regardless of age or gender. On top of that, you are consistently and constantly a sexual deviant and pest to people who are very clearly not interested. On top of that, if we left you alone and nobody ever messed with you again, that would leave you back to your devices of being able to harm Sally. You remember 2012's incident of where you choked her out and all that good stuff. How about that time you beat up old Heather? R.I.P. to her. And how about all the times you verbally and mentally abused and scarred endless women, including Kira? The things that you are about to say about this woman are absolutely psychotic, and I can't even imagine what vernacular you were using with her behind closed doors here. Cyrax, your lies tell all, and your actions speak so much louder than any little delusional lie you can spout out of that little hole.
What is so hard about living my life in peace and wanting a happy life with a woman that I love? What is so wrong about that? What is so fucking wrong about wanting a peaceful life?
I'm Chance Wilkin, ever pedophile.
About wanting to be successful
I'm Chance Wilkin, ever pedophile.
and sharing my life with the person that I love. What is so wrong about that? I don't see anything wrong with that. William, I'm telling you right now, please leave me alone and leave whoever I am with and my friends and my family alone.
Cyrax, you do make a point. Now, if you weren't a well-known creep online who was constantly throwing death threats at people, claiming you're going to harm their family and loved ones, if you weren't constantly out there stealing people's hard work, like their music and their art, if you weren't constantly out there challenging everybody to racing for titles and for accolades this or clout points that, maybe, just maybe, the point you're making would be real. Maybe you would deserve to just be happy and live a life with somebody you love and start a family and all that. But Cyrax, PDFs don't get to have families. And you want to know why PDFs don't get to have families? Because nobody can trust you around children, especially when you're in a stepdad position that you keep trying to put yourself in. Cyrax is an infamous sufferer of stepdaddy fever. He really wants to be somebody's daddy. Not their biological one though. He really wants to be their stepdaddy. And I think it's because, if you remember a while back, when that search history of his leaked, the things he was looking up on P-Hub were a bit more disturbing than you thought. And they almost all seemingly revolved around being a stepdaddy.
God, it's been a fat ass minute, and goddamn, it feels good to be back, man. It feels real good to be back. Actually, I'm not the one that left. That was that hoe bag, that dumbass cunt that can't keep her legs closed. Kira Greaves, the hoe, the slut of Sioux City, Iowa. If anybody left, it's her. So, yeah.
So of course Cyrax is back with a vengeance, and of course, you know, last video he's crying, he lost Kira, she turned to the ways of meth kwando with her sensei, Dominic, learning the ways of fighting the Pookie, riding the purple dragon, slapping up the iridescent elephant, you know, typical Wednesdays on meth, and he was upset. He said, I'm never gonna do YouTube again. He was finally done. That's all he needed to see to be done with this career, this dream. Basilia us thinking Cyrax would go away for more than a little bit of time. He's like that last herpy, it just won't die. It's gonna continuously pop up right when you think you're in the clear. Not only is he name dropping her full first name and last name now, he's more than happy to dox her now and throw out the city that she's in. And on top of that, he's calling her the absolute worst names in the book and sounding all too comfortable doing so. I would bet money that he had already been saying these things to her in the background many times over. For somebody who's so comfortable saying, hey, she's a hoe bag, she's this, she's that, it just seems like he's had some practice is all I'm saying. But this isn't really a surprise. This is just another prime example of why Cyrax unfortunately receives the attention he does. He is not only a bad person in the sense of being a PDF, being a sexual deviant, being a pest to everybody at large, he is also an abuser on all fronts, mentally, verbally, and physically. There are examples of every single one of these things time and time again, and Cyrax unfortunately always falls into this quote trap to where the trolls push him into doing this. We make him so stressed that he has to go fight his stepdad. We make him so stressed that he has to choke out his ex-girlfriend. Oh, we make him so stressed, guys.
But we have something to talk about here before I jump into the show. That's motherfucker William. I'm talking to you. You say that suffering looks good on me. I should wear suffering more because it looks good on me, right? Those were your words, were they not? Well, guess what? The thing that you seem to still not understand, the thing that you still don't comprehend for whatever fucking reason it is the fact that I survive, I thrive off of suffering.
So Cyrax, of course, as always, has a very clear message for William Gloryhole here, and it's some more delusional lies. Cyrax spends so much of his time complaining and crying and, having rants and rages and fits all about people messing with him and how he's so sad and he just wants to be happy and live his life. But then he turns around and he tries to act all tough and macho because, a day's gone by, he's got some sludge in his system, he's feeling rejuvenated and excited to get back to doing what he loves most on YouTube. So now he's gonna make up a delusional lie to try to gaslight any new audience members into thinking that he's some sort of victim and people are just messing with him. But he wants to play some sort of Batman character now, some sort of Joker, some sort of Bane type thing, right? Where he's like, I love the disparity, it makes me stronger, brother. It's like, dog, like, what are you doing? Like, we all know that you hate it. That's why you cry about it all the time. That's why you're super lonely and all you try to do is try to coerce people into either being your fiance online or sending you pictures of themselves naked so you can beat your pud upwards of 15 times a day and potentially get another PP infection so your grandma can rub ointment all over it. It's a beautiful cycle and the earth is truly healing once more.
What you fail to realize is I turn my suffering into my strength. So when it looks like I'm down and out and it looks like I'm suffering, I'm actually turning my suffering into my motherfucking strength to fight back. What you seem to fail to understand, my suffering is my strength. It's my power. You still fail to realize that.
Look, the most endearing and positive thing I can say about Chance Wilkin, aka Cyrax, is that he's much like a cockroach. Very much so. He will outlive. He will somehow, if he has the ability to be online and making videos, be doing so. And no matter how many times he gets knocked off his horse, I will give him this, he somehow crawls back out of the hole where all the other roaches come from, a day or two later, ready to go all over again. It truly is a maddening cycle. He never learns. There's nothing really great that comes of these cycles. Chance saying he takes his suffering and uses it as his strengths. That's just a very false statement. Not even saying this to make fun of him or anything like that. It's just fake. It's just not true. There's just nothing to make fun of that. That's not the, like, if that was true, we wouldn't be here, Cyrax. There would not be a 50-part series on my channel about you. It truly is humorous to see Cyrax lying though, where he tries to claim that he takes these moments of suffering, analyzes them, figures out what about them he can go try to figure out how he can use those things to be weapons of his own, be strength of his own. How can he turn it back on his opposition? And that truly again is just a lie. It's just not true. Cyrax does not and has never had this skill.
And as for you, Kira, you ain't nothing but a wannabe mother. that's undeserving. You don't deserve Callum. Noah does. I do. Your aunt does. Your sister does. You don't deserve Callum. Not with the way you're being, you stupid bitch. And there's one major thing that I'm going to put to rest right now that I have a serious question about. Everybody sits here and calls me a pedophile.
I'm Chance Wilkin. I'm a pedophile.
Says that I'm this, says that I'm that, says that, oh, you're talking to kids. Well, my question to challenge you is this. Where's the current proof, motherfuckers? Because every time I confront anybody, there is no, absolute zero current proof on any of it.
Cyraxx truly is the most two-faced human being on the entire planet. Just a day ago, he was singing Kara's praises. This is the best mother. We're the best team duo here. We're taking care of our son, taking care of our family, taking care of our business. I know she made some mistakes, but she's trying to make it better, and so am I. And you know, Cyraxx, it really does seem like you were just trying to use this situation to your benefit. I mean, from the outside looking in, seems like you were trying to take money from her, use her situation to run up money for your video game collection, and she even so happens to have a little stepchild for you to be able to parade around like you're some sort of fake dad. Again, cosplaying as a stepdad is a sin, Cyraxx, and you're definitely going to a place that's very warm for that. Being a parent is something that you earn, Cyraxx, and unfortunately you haven't put in any work to earn being a parent. I mean, shoot, being a parent is something almost anybody can do, and somehow, some way, you found a way to not be able to do it. Now that Kira is no longer under his thumb and full control, and he can no longer exploit her and her child to try to somehow, some way run up some donations to his little Cash App, his little PayPal, if you will, he is now absolutely turning on her, acting like she is the enemy and always was the enemy, like she was some massive headache that he had to deal with all the time. Again, in the video just before this, he was crying, begging for Kara to stay, begging for William to leave them alone. And here we are, Cyraxx being absolutely two-faced as always. Gotta love it, absolutely beautiful. It's absolutely creepy to hear somebody like Cyraxx talk about somebody else's child and who deserves to have them. Out here saying, you don't deserve to have this boy. Your ex does. You don't deserve him. I do. Your aunt does. Anybody but you. The fact that he slides himself in there all casually and then tries to throw another family member after because he doesn't want to sound as creepy is absolutely disgusting. Cyraxx is slowly but surely becoming more calculated with how he is. The stepdaddy fever is truly dangerous. What interesting timing is it that right after Chance says, yeah, I deserve to have your son more than you do, that he goes on to mention the PDF allegations against himself and tries to brush them off like they are, of course, nothing. So obviously, you know, I gotta throw them in that clip. I know that clip is overused on this channel, that's for sure, but it's just the easiest, most quintessential way of showing why people consistently call him a PDF. It's not only because of the actions that he's been caught in, the multiple stings from Masshole Mafia, Music Business Marty, etc., but also the amount of times that he has openly and very publicly stated, I am Chance Wilkin, and I am a PDF file. You hear it, that's his voice. It's not AI, it's on a real stream with Tibbs TV, who is also a very, not so great character himself, but nonetheless, regardless, Chance did. He said it multiple times on that very video. Chance also then goes on to claim that, hey, where's the recent evidence? The fact that there is evidence at all, it doesn't matter if it's a year old, 10 years old, whatever. Cyraxx, there is a decade of evidence against you. And sure, maybe recently you haven't been caught doing anything creepy with minors, but you've been caught with it several times. Like I said, there is easily at least a dozen well-documented times between your, quote, trolls that have caught you up in these stings. The intention remains the same. You intended to send those pictures of yourself to minors, which is a crime, and you're lucky that you live in a state to where you actually have to have physically victimized somebody for that crime to apply to you. So yes, Cyraxx, sure, there might not be recent evidence, but that other evidence doesn't suddenly become null and void because you didn't do it for a year.
Where is the current proof? Where is the up-to-date proof? Because every time I confront anybody, I don't see any. It's all hearsay. It's all talk. Every time I confront these motherfuckers, they don't have a goddamn lick of current evidence. Every goddamn time they ain't got jack shit, which I find very funny. I find that actually pretty hilarious if you ask me. Y'all sit there and say one thing, but yet you do another. Sounds kind of strange, don't it?
So of course, Cyraxx is not only the most smug human being ever once he gets a little bit of encouragement or rejuvenation, however this happens with him, who knows. Like I said, I think he sipped on some sludge that morning, felt a little confident. Sally probably said, hey, you're looking a little less scabby today, and it just gave him that little spark he needed to be able to come out here and be Smugraxx for the day. But we're about to see, he instantly came back later that night and was very somber, talking about his time that he spent with good old one-armed bandit Kara.
This video is for Kira Rose Grieve, the woman who I was supposed to marry, the woman who I wanted to spend the rest of my life with. Kira, I want to know why. Why'd you fucking do it? And for those of you that are reposting this, I want you guys to send this to her. I want her to see this. I want Kira and her family to see this. I want to know why you did it, Kira. Why'd you cheat on me? After I put my entire life, my career on hold for you. Gave you everything I had.
Oh boy, there goes Cyraxx lying again, spinning yarns. Cyraxx is acting like he put his whole career on hold, stopped doing what he was doing to be some sort of help to Kara and help her transition from living on the streets and being homeless with a child and bringing her into a home somewhere. But we all know that's not what was going on. Cyraxx was actively blocking attempts from people to actually help her get off the streets and actually put her in good situations. If you actually go back to the episode where we initially found out about the one-armed bandit, you could see that Cyraxx actually had multiple friends trying to reach out and help the situation, giving him a really good situation to put her in too. And he declined it, because he wanted them to send money to his PayPal so he could buy video games. Cyraxx never cared about any of these people. Don't let him act like he did. He got ran off YouTube like always because he's a creep and nobody wants him around.
Did everything I could to protect you. Did everything I could to be the best dad I could to Callum. 13 fucking goddamn years, Kira.
Bro, what are you talking about, man?
And this is how you fucking repay me? By doing the very thing that you said that you never do, which is cheat. And I want to know why. What made you do it? Was it money? A place to live? What was it? Why'd you do it? And I want you to make a video or call me or contact me and tell me for yourself why you did it. I want the fucking goddamn truth.
Cyraxx claiming he did absolutely everything in his power to keep Kira and her son safe and off the streets is an absolute joke. As I said before, he actively worked against getting Kira in a very good predicament. At one point, he had some of his old friends offer to let them stay at a summer house of theirs that all they would have to do is keep clean and kind of watch over. They would have transportation, be in walking distance of a school for her son, and it was even handicap accessible. You truly couldn't find a better deal even if you wanted to. And Cyraxx, somehow someway, made an excuse at every turn as to why it couldn't happen and that they should just send him $20 on PayPal. If anybody noticed, Cyraxx suddenly had all these games and he was like, yeah, this one cost 20 on Steam, this one cost 30 on Steam, and we're like, how is he getting all this money? How is he getting these games? And most people speculated, oh, he was probably just stealing Sally's credit card again. I think he was just siphoning that good old money from friends and family as long as he could, using that whole Kara excuse, and using the funds to make his little Steam library thick and fun for his streams.
You owe me an answer. You know, I figured after 13 years of knowing me, you would at least have a fucking answer for me. You don't know how much it hurt me to see you do what you did. You don't understand the level of pain that you've caused. How you took the one thing that mattered more to me than even mine and yours relationship, which is being a fucking dad to your son Callum.
So you keep hearing Cyraxx saying that he was with Kira for 13 years, and that's definitely not the case. He kind of slips up there and says, you know, after 13 years of knowing each other, you'd think you'd give me an answer. And that's definitely closer to the actual truth there. They've probably known each other for around 13 years, probably just known each other online for many years. That's kind of what I'm leaning towards. But Cyraxx, Cyrax. Nobody owes you anything. Unfortunately, look at how you're talking about her. That's 100% how you were talking to her when she was there. We all know the old adage, you don't know what you have until it's gone type thing. Of course, the thing Cyrax would be hyper fixated on and the most offended about is Kira depriving Cyrax of being able to say he's a stepdaddy. You all know that's the one thing Cyrax cared about the most. It's not my words, it's his words. He just said that in the clip.
That boy made me proud to be a dad. I was excited to be able to do something I had never gotten to experience before in my life, which is to be a fucking dad and a father. You don't understand how much it hurt me knowing that the last words I got to say to Callum were, I love you, son, and I hope you have a good day at school. You don't know how much those words fucking pierce my heart like a fucking arrow right now. Knowing that those were the last words I got to say to that little boy. And quite frankly, I don't give a about what all you other motherfuckers on YouTube have to say, because you guys are a bunch of fucking pussies anyway. My mom, even though, yes, me and her might not agree on a lot of shit, even still, she loved you as a fucking daughter. Matt and Ethan, they loved you like a sister. They saw Callum as their fucking nephew. Everybody that I knew, that I know, loved you to death.
So good old Poop Tooth here is trying to gaslight as heavy as he can and get Kira to feel bad and come back. He wants her to realize her errors, showing that, like, you know, he was there for her. He really loved her son. Like, he really loved her son. Like, he really loved her son. He really wanted to emphasize that. He's just so booty chapped about his last memory with that little boy being, I love you, son, and sending him off to school. Even though Cyrax never met this kid. Cyrax never saw him in person. Cyrax only spoke to him over the phone on speaker, bringing up his family and his friends, saying they all love you to death, Kira, trying to pressure her into coming back. It's absolutely deplorable and sad.
And you know, I'm beginning to think that your sister and Tia are right. You're nothing but a goddamn slut and a fucking whore. You go around sleeping with every dude that you can find. And when you're done with him, you move on to the next one like a goddamn parasite. Let me tell you right now, Kira Rose Grieve, you have made an enemy out of a lot of fucking people that cared about you. You have pissed off a lot of fucking people that actually loved you and cared about you, that would have given the world for you, that wanted to see me and you be together, that wanted to help me and you be together.
Cyrax is continuing his gaslighting tirade here against Kira, telling her in every which way that she does not deserve to have her children, that she does not deserve to have happiness, that her family are right. Anything problematic in her life is 100% her fault and she deserves it. It is absolutely diabolical on Cyrax's part that he gets cheated on one time, and at this point we don't even really fully know if she cheated on him more than maybe give the guy a kiss, could have been some makeout sessions, could have been oral, they could have went to Pound Town. Nobody actually knows. Cyrax is just going out and calling her all these absolutely insane names, being as absolutely disrespectful and hurtful as possible. You know, the Cyrax trademark, raging out, giving us the good stuff. Remember, this is a 34 or 35-year-old man claiming and consistently saying to people online, you have made an enemy out of me and my people, and his people are literally just Ed and Sally. Again, Perky Ed and Bad Back Sally. So, I mean, he's essentially saying, my mom and her boyfriend are gonna be mad at you. They really wanted to see us together. They were really trying and rooting for us, even though they didn't do a single thing to actually help them get together. Sally went through this with multiple different Heathers. She doesn't want another freeloader in her house just to end up where it exploding in her face.
Kira, I put everything on hold for you. My career, my life, everything. I stopped hanging out with friends for you. I put making music with my friends on hold for you. I deleted my fucking 1,000+ YouTube channel for you. Also, I could better myself. I was literally preparing to come up there and see you. And you really want to know how fucking close I was to coming up there and seeing you? Let me fucking show you what you threw away. I had my bag packed, ready to walk out that door. and make the 13-day walk up there to fucking see you. I was prepared to walk 13 fucking days by foot to come up there and see you.
Oh geez, Cyraxx was gonna give us a Sally 2012 2.0 situation. You really think, Cyraxx, that it was gonna go the way you wanted? I guess at this point, Sally and Ed are probably so tired of Cyraxx that they'd probably just let him walk out there. But why is Cyraxx's first instinct to walk places, especially several states away? Cyraxx, you know, like, bus tickets are pretty cheap. For all the money you grifted, you could have bought like 3 or 4 bus tickets easily. Cyraxx is really trying to lay on that victim complex here. He really wants it to look like he had to give up all of these things just to be with Kara. She was demanding that he has no friends. He doesn't do any music. He has no YouTube channel. It was required of him to do all of this. Did anybody else actually bust out laughing like I did when Cyraxx hobbles up, goes to the back of his room, picks up this dusty ass little camera case? I guess you could call it a duffel bag, but I think it's funnier to imagine it as a camera case that he's using to double as some sort of suitcase, because he actually just doesn't travel and never has. And then he opens it up, and this is what really sent me and made me start laughing. He's got like 1 pair of socks, a shirt, and maybe some PJs in there. And he's like, yeah, I was gonna walk 13 days. It's like, okay, brother. Sounds like you would have walked 13 minutes.
When I asked you to marry me, Kira, I meant it. I wanted to be married to you. Because let me tell you right now, I never once fucking cheated on you. Ever. I never fucking cheated on you. I was always faithful to you. I was always loyal to you. And I was always truthful to you. Why couldn't you do the same back? I went out of my way for you so many times to help you. I offered to send you money whenever you fucking needed it. Offered to do what I could to help you out with Callum. I went out of my way and bought Christmas presents for you. I went out of my way and did hand-done artwork for you for Valentine's Day. I went out of my way and I gave you my word to be there for you for the rest of my life.
So it's just going to be more of the same for the rest of this video. It's going to be another 10-15 minutes of Cyraxx just repeating the same things as we've seen. Him trying to make Kira feel bad and gaslight her. That's why he said in the beginning of the video that he really wants all of us to send this to Kira so she sees it. He thinks he's going to be able to manipulate his way into a better situation and bring her back. But we all really know what's gonna go on. Cyraxx unfortunately has lost another girlfriend, and this one unfortunately wasn't a troll girlfriend. So it doesn't matter if they're real or not, Cyraxx will always find a way to sabotage his own happiness. After being harassed by the trolls and bothered by everybody around Cyraxx for so long, the one-armed bandit Kira has finally run for the hills with her new Methquando instructor. It's not looking good for good old Chance out here. That's good for us because he's active and making videos again, which means we're gonna get a lot of rage outs, a lot of rants, and unfortunately, in the next episode, we're gonna be subjected to more covers. But with that said, I'll see you all soon. Be sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you're new, and throw down your comments down below letting me know your thoughts about Cyraxx and the recent Raxxaverse.